doesn't matter where or when, you can plan your life because with eLife, you can purchase your life insurance online, anytime, anywhere. It's easy. Choose your life insurance coverage, apply, and pay online.
Living the e-life easy.
Live the eLife with Sagicor Life.
Jason is constantly on his phone, even on special occasions. He's ensuring that they're covered with eLife. Life insurance you can purchase online, anytime, anywhere. It's easy. Choose your life insurance coverage, apply, and pay online.
Living the e-life easy.
Live the eLife with Sagicor Life.
We've had such fun this past weeks talking about from food to fashion, the future of brick and mortar. So here we are today on a lovely note, beauty. If you think about the word beauty itself, it just sounds so nice, right? And who better to lead the charge than the foremost leaders in the industry here in Jamaica. We'll have interesting conversations coming out of Barbados, Trinidad, and Lagos, Nigeria. And just in case you didn't know where the beauty secret of soap, we've got Dominica as well. So I would suggest that you sit back, like I'm going to do, relax, as they say, and really enjoy the conversation today about the beauty industry, which is a multi-billion-dollar one. Have we begun to even scratch the surface? I dare say we haven't, but I think after our conversation today, you will, like us, contemplate the industry even more. There are over 1,000 registered spas and salons here on island. Interesting. An interesting number. Truth be told, there are probably more. But I think we have the best possible lineup today. In fact, I know that we have the best possible lineup today from all walks of life. So let the conversation begin right here in Kingston, Jamaica, with Marie Hall-Smith. Her mother, well, I'll leave her to do the rest, but she is currently the managing director of the Face Place in Kingston, Jamaica. Welcome, Marie. If my face looks great, it's because of her.
Thank you very much, Novia. Good morning, and good morning to everyone on the panel. I mean, it's such a pleasure to really have been, had the opportunity to be a part of this conversation. And the group, the panel truly represents what the industry represents. And that is, it's an umbrella for all services that include hair, makeup, nails, skin. And I mean, it's really an amazing time, even though, we are in the midst of COVID-19. We're still practicing resiliency and charging forward. So again, thank you and good morning to everyone who's here. As Novia had alluded to, my mother, the former Elima Hall, the late Elima Hall, OD, she established the Face Place in 1973. So as you would have imagined or can imagine, in the 70s, the trend was very, flower power, very natural, all about letting everything grow from everywhere, right? And so when she established the business, she had quite a task ahead of her because she had to do a lot of education, with her clients, as well as expose people to waxing. In the 70s, nobody thought of removing hair off their legs or armpits with wax, so she had really her work cut out for her. And she did so passionately, and that has by extension passed on to me. But the industry, where it has come from and where it's growing and going to and developing to, is just remarkable. Every decade brought with it, trends. The 80s brought the trend of bigger is better. Also, the 90s brought the supermodel era with the Tyra Banks and the Naomi Campbell. Right. So every decade brought with it trends. And we are now positioned in the 21st century where when we look back at where it all started from, which is historians can trace the industry starting from 4000 BC. I mean, most notably, Cleopatra, wore kohl around her eyes to enhance the almond shape of her eyes. And so when we look at us now in the 21st century and reflect as far back as where we're coming from, things have definitely changed with the invent of, science and technology, the advancements of science and technology. But we're still using the same basic raw materials, which are earth elements and natural resources, to now really give greater enhancements. So in the 21st century, what we're finding is that people want benefits to be realized immediately. So when they come into the spa, they want to look and feel 20 years younger, whether that's by way of the treatment that they're doing or the product that they may be using. And for example, in their hair now is, really more silkier, holding much more moisture through serums, etc. Lips are much more plump, through lipsticks, as Raquel will, speak about, I'm sure. And, services that we offer really are delivering now in this day and age enhancements and benefits that our clients and customers want to see immediately. In these times, with us facing COVID 19, the best thing and the best advice I can give to anyone is just to practice resiliency. And once you're adhering to the best quality standards in whatever you do, whatever industry you do, it can only really help drive you forward and establish your product and your service as superior. In the 70s, again, when my mother started, she really practiced quality in terms of her delivering her offerings. And today we do the same thing. Because she had to educate a lot, her clients and her staff, she actually started another business in 1989, which is the Faceplace Institute of Aesthetics. And to date, we have trained many young ladies and gentlemen all over the island, and some living in the diaspora now, who have passed through our doors and again maintain the same quality standards that the business was premised and started on. So again, I'm thankful to be here and looking forward to a fruitful discussion. There are so many new entrants in the industry right now, and everybody is even service and product differentiating. And that just makes it greater for us as a whole to benefit from what we each have to offer.
Thank you very much, Marie. We certainly will be back. From flower power to the TikTok generation, I think this is a perfect segue to, to Garth and Kamisha from Adam and Eve Spa. Garth, you're going to start first, right, Garth?
Yeah. Well, again, welcome morning to all the panelists. That was a great segue, Sima. It's amazing to hear where Sima is coming from in terms of taking over business from our mom. Because growing up, my mom used to take me to other spas at the time to get treatments. And truth be told, I never saw myself in the industry. At a tender age, I knew I wanted to be a businessman and an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is one who, invests in many, many businesses. Now, at the time, I wasn't even married to the beautiful Kim. We were just dating, and she said she wanted to do a spa. And at the time, for me, I said, well, my baby said she wanted to do a spa, we have to do a spa. And, we actually came up with the name Adam and Eve even before we got married. That name was incorporated since 2005. And the business wasn't launched until 2007 on Constant Spring Road. We started out in a very small location. At the time, it was 1,800 square feet. We knew nothing about the business. So, we paid the price, we invested a lot of money. As I say, it pays to learn. But over the years, I would say we have learned. We expanded. We went down into New Kingston, where we pretty much tripled the space again. We went to 5,000 square feet. And that location taught me something. I realized that the market, the market has many sides to it. It has the skin side, The market, it has a product side, it has the services side, outside of the hair industry, that aspect, Lisa will speak to that. But for me, I wanted to be, I would say, the number one spa, not just in Jamaica, in the Caribbean. So, Kim will speak to the service side of the business, but for me, I'm speaking to the business side. For me, all I speak on when I come to the office is how I'm going to expand. I want to expand, I want to expand, and I want to expand. Here it is, we embarked on a major investment, and bam, COVID-19. Now, during the time of the construction, many persons call me, God, what you going to do? You going to stop? I'm like, no, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. I mean, one of my mentors, without him even knowing, is Bud Stewart. I love how anytime there's a crisis, he expands. He doesn't stop, because at the end of the crisis, he wants to be positioned to grow. So I said to myself, you know what, we're not stopping. We're going to double down. We're going to invest more in the location, because when we open, we want it to be a wow. And so said, so done, we have opened, and clients have come in. They have realized the fact that we have invested a lot. We are following all of the procedures in terms of sanitization. We have tripled down on our own spa attendants. We now have 3 spa attendants working. Normally we only have 1, because we want to ensure that one person is dedicated to this total sanitization throughout the course of the day. We have also expanded in terms of having an outside sanitization company coming in at least twice a week and sanitize the location outside of what we do internally. So for me, it's an exciting time for the business. I believe we are on a very, very good footing to grow the business. And, I'm just excited to be here and share our journey. So Kim?
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm happy to be a part of this panel, first of all. And I think just even before the journey, I remember going to Raquel. Raquel was it for the lashes and the makeup. She actually was the one that did my makeup for my wedding. So what I can appreciate with this industry is that, I think we connect well with each other when it's possible. I mean, Simo, there are many times that Simo and I would have conversations on the phone, so I'm happy. And I mean, I know Lisa. So I mean, what I like about the industry, it's always growing, and we can always connect together and bounce off concepts and ideas whenever possible. For me, as Garth rightfully said, the need of Adam and Eve started. I used to go to Vanessa for my hair and Miss Aaron's at the time, and as well as sometimes even Jen Care. So for me, when I was able to go to these places as a young lady, I used to be wowed with the beauty industry. I was like, how can I get that? How can I achieve that? And I was working at New Line at the time. So yes, everybody would say whole vehicle and then beauty. But I'm coming out of a family that when you see them, you're like, the family of the ladies are you're wowed, because I'm coming down from my mommy, always taking care of herself, hair always right, face always right, nails always right, and then my auntie was also an ambassador. So even as the roles of the ladies in my family, there were very strong roles. My sisters before me. So as a young girl, I always said, how do I achieve this? How do I even impart this knowledge onto other young ladies growing up? And so hence I said to God today, I said, even though I'm in the car company, I'm in a very good position. I was a general manager. I said I need more. I said I'm not at peace. I said I'm not passionate as much in the car industry as I thought I would be, because it was also it was my sister's company and her husband's company. And I said, I feel like I am blocking my destiny. And the aggressive person in terms of the business person that I am, I said to God, structure the business plan. I said, God, this is my vision. This is where I want to be. I mean, I see us going to higher heights, to new heights, to being international, not just in the Caribbean, not just in Jamaica, but I said, God, I want to be a Jamaican household brand. And I mean, I said, hon, I said, I know you, because God is he's very supportive husband. That I have to give you, that accolade, hon. Very supportive husband. He listens well and we communicate well. So I drew out my vision for him, and he clearly is going to question it and say, boy, so how the money part of it are going to work, or how much we're going to earn, and so we had to really do our research together. And then, as God said, this was something that we were thinking about from 2005. And at that time, I was 25 years old. So I was actually one of the youngest persons coming into the business, into the beauty industry. And I started to do my research. I even went to Faceplace in terms of to do my aesthetic course. So I mean, that's what I'm saying to you, is building the partnerships, building the relationships that are important.
Yeah.
So I mean, in terms of Faceplace was beauty, and in terms of an institute was somewhere where I said, no, they have high standards. So definitely I would want to go there. So I mean, I appreciate that process as well. One of the things that I wanted, because even with Sima at that time, when I was coming in, Sima was pregnant and she was actually leaving, and I was like, no, I wanted to learn from Sima. But these are some of the things even in the beauty industry that we are mothers for the most part. I mean, yes, and we have to celebrate our women in the industry, because outside of beauty, we take on so many different roles and so many different aspects, and still have to be that strong leader. So we have to know where to strike that balance. But for me, it has been an amazing experience. There have been ups and downs. I mean, a lot of persons look on us in the beauty industry and say, no man, them good, them all right, and don't understand that we too face our slopes. And so sometimes we have the hills and the valleys in the industry, but it's an amazing industry to be in. I mean, I am a people person. I love customers. I love my team. So I mean, that is a warmth that I bring to Garth, back to the backbone of Garth. And I mean, having Garth as a strong backbone and the financial aspect in the company. So just with that said, that I think it has been my journey in a nutshell, or just a little tidbit of what it is that I want to express. Garth, I don't know if it is that you want to look more on the investment side or go into more on the investment side of things.
Well, we can come back. We can come back to that, because I'm sure, in fact, the question's already coming in. So I'm certain that we'll return to that. One of the challenges, in fact, when our Prime Minister was addressing the nation to prepare us for the changes that COVID-19 would mete out, we frantically made a desperate telephone call to our hairdresser, hashtag Black Hair Matters. Lisa Hutchinson, Lisa's salon principal. For her sins, she had some of the worst clients. Let me put both hands up. But we love her even when she's punishing us. Let me pause and stress that she punishes us. Toyin, do you know that? She punishes us in Kingston, Jamaica.
Never heard that.
Right. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you, Nova. Thank you for having me. Good morning again to you and to all my fellow panelists, and of course to the persons who have tuned in. I am Lisa Hutchinson, as Novia just said, and I'm principal of Lisa's Salon. I'm a certified cosmetologist. I have been operating here in Kingston for 20 years with no regrets. Love the business, love the industry. Um, I will say though that this is a decades old industry. I'm sure we've all heard of the late Madame C.J. Walker, who was recorded as the first female self-made billionaire in America. She really pioneered the rise of black hair care products and brought to the forefront uh, what the industry stood for and how viable it could really be. Um, but then fast forward to many decades later, and it seems to me that our industry is just um, getting the recognition that it deserves. Um, I and we have we have our own very own trailblazers in Jamaica. Um, we I know when I was growing up, it was Pat Wright of PJs, my personal inspiration, late Melody Aarons of She Kleins, and Norma Webster, of course. They were the giants in the industry, and I think that they really paved the way for a lot of us upcoming young stylists. I really want to pay homage to these phenomenal women, and certainly the sky is the limit moving forward.
Thank you very much. I think we can certainly add Madame Rose Leon to that list as well. And I remember
Oh, absolutely.
and a conversation that I had with Sheila Hart, and she mentioned Dorothy Vendries as well. So there are so many, but absolutely, I think it's about time that the industry gets a nod of recognition. And I must say that that's what we have, been trying and continue to do at the Jamaica Observer newspaper. Not to show about anybody else, but we certainly have. In
Agreed.
terms of, getting the acknowledgement that the industry deserves, and, keeping up with trends and doing and doing and doing, and really shedding and spotlighting all the different areas. Raquel Jenkins has certainly done this. Raquel J. Beauty Lab CEO and Creative Director. I'll ask her to tell her own story, but I would just like to, say thank you to yet another person who has, as I said before, spotlighted the industry.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me, Novia.
Hi,
And
Raquel.
Hi,
always
Rack.
says is she's always ahead of the time. She's always thinking out of the box and being proactive. So having this panelist conversation with regards to beauty, and even the conversation last week, I must commend the Observer as usual for being ahead of the game and for including the and other persons in business. My story is kind of weird. I started out as an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm an IT specialist, and I'm business. How did I get here? Only God knows, but maybe. But I not want to play. I like to move with time, and having moved from engineering background into the makeup industry, the beauty industry, as you know, it's a billion-dollar business, and it's a global competition. But one of the things I've learned in this business is the race is not for the swift; it's for who can endure, and that's one of the things I've always kept in my head, that I'm running a race with myself. I have to be the best for me, that I can be the best for my customers. So not having a brick and mortar anymore, I have no regrets, none at all. I don't want that anymore. However, we are now in the age and stage of technology. We're back, and again, we're going back to basics in terms of how do we do things, how do we communicate. So now before we never had social media and all of that jazz, but we had the paper to read. We have to go back to basics. My business, basically, I started out doing permanent cosmetics first in Jamaica, traveled overseas, got my certification, came back to Jamaica, said, I want to start business because that is how Raquel is. I want something, I am going to go get it. I'm not sitting back and waiting for any spoon feeding. So I did my course. I came back, went back to Jamaica, started permanent cosmetic business. Then I was doing intradermal procedures in terms of permanent makeup, permanent eyeliner, permanent eyebrows. And I said, you know what? I have to have multiple streams of income coming in because of what if scenario. If one is slow today, I have to have something as a backup. I then went and studied makeup artistry. Before, let me reverse. I worked with Ebony Magazine for 2 years. I got that job online on a phone call, and I got the job with Ebony Magazine. And we were touring Jamaica. At the time, they had Duke and Ravine products, and they were marketing that in the Caribbean market, and I was a part of their team. When I realized the money that you can make in the beauty business, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to do this. That's when I started to say, I wanted to be in the beauty business. And having gone into the beauty business, I have no regrets. The only thing I know from the business is you have to stay ahead of the game. You have to be on top of the competition. You have to find your niche, and you have to milk your niche. So I am happy to be in the business. I'm happy to be a part of this panelist. I'm happy to share my growth in terms of starting from permanent cosmetic studio, going into Raquel J Beauty Lab, making my own cosmetic line. It has been indeed a fantastic journey, made a lot of mistakes, learned from them, and now in 2020, with COVID, hello, welcome to COVID era, it has taught me so much more. And again, I believe in having multiple income and being very, very open to new things, because you can't be stuck in a box when you're in business, any business at all. You have to continuously looking out of the box, looking for new ways. What can I bring to the market? What is in the market that I can make better for my people? Now, I'm no longer in Jamaica, but I still have loyal clients. I have the most loyal clients that you'd ever think of, that any product that I decide to launch, they are there. And that's one of the most important things in business. You have to network and keep your customers close and dear to your heart. You have to treat them well, whether or not you like them or not. So it's the truth. You have to keep your customers close to you, keep that relationship, and keep that network building. And this is where we are now. We are now in a stage where we have to network more online and keep our customers and clients active, not being able to see them and touch them individually. But we have, how do I keep connected to my customers? How do I still make them happy? Are they buying me? Are they buying lipstick? Are they buying makeup? Are they doing their hair and nails? Yes. They are still doing their hair. Yes, they are still buying lipstick. How do we get to them? Thanks to social media, thanks to just having the age of where technology has taken over the world. This is where we are now, and we have to move with the time. COVID or no COVID, we have to move with the time. We can no longer think in a box. We have to be competitive amongst ourselves in terms of being a better brand. We have to stand out as brand ambassadors for ourselves before we can take it to the global market. So I'm happy to be online with you all. I'm happy to see all the familiar faces and all the foundation people that have been a part of my life. I've known Sima, God, Lisa. We've all been there growing in the industry. We've all have learned from each other. We all have supported each other's business. And that's what we have to do to make this right. We have to support each other. That's my 2 cents for now.
Thank you, Raquel. As you know, as always on point, I mean, there are moments that you remember and you look around and you see and you remember those faces, the faces that were there at a particular juncture. So what better way to cross over and catch up with our friends on the continent? Welcome, Toyin. Toyin Ajulate is the founder and CEO of Alori Beauty Enterprise Limited. Welcome.
Thanks, Novia. Please
go ahead with your story.
Sorry. Thanks for having me, and it's
Thanks for
it's a
being here.
it's a real honor to be joining all of you all the way over in the Caribbean, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. So this is just showing the power of this whole digital communication in this age. As Novia said, my name is Toyin Ojulate. I'm the founder of Olori Cosmetics. And this is a concept that or an idea that I conceptualized back in the third year of my time in university, back in the States. And at the time when I wanted to start a beauty brand, it was because at that time the concept was a makeup company, because I couldn't find my shades when buying foundation or sort of lip shades that I liked for my complexion. And at the time, I wanted to start a makeup company. But then I graduated from university. This is almost 20 years ago. And I started a career in management consulting. And soon after, September 11th happened. And my father, back in Nigeria, really encouraged me to move back, because just as the economy in the States was going down, West Africa or Nigeria was seeing a huge resurgence with mobile technology, and he wanted me to be part of that rise, to move back to Nigeria and be part of that African story.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on with my career in the technology field, and fast forward to almost 15 years later, about 14 years later, when I finally decided to start the company. And then again, I started it by accident, because I had a hair coloring accident at the salon. They used a really terrible hair coloring. Lisa, I'm sure you're hearing this. I had a terrible coloring experience, and my hair felt like hay. And I was so upset. I got home and my mother made this concoction, this thing that she had always used to care for my hair for me and my sisters growing up. And I applied it to my hair, and it reversed the damage and the look and feel of the texture almost overnight. And then I thought, I should jar this. And then I gave samples to about 30 of my friends. And when people started asking for more product, I couldn't afford to give it out for free. And that's how I eventually started the brand as a hair care company, which it is today. So even though my passion has always been in every and anything beauties, I'm a huge makeup junkie, skincare junkie, hair care junkie. So today, as Olori exists, it's a hair care company. And just before I started commercially, I had worked for L'Oreal for a number of years, managing a bunch of hair care brands. Some you might recognize, Dark and Lovely under Sofsheen Carson, Mizani. I managed L'Oreal Paris and Garnier brands for Middle East and Africa. So I really wanted to get some sort of street credibility and industry experience before launching the brand. And fast forward to now, I transitioned from my full-time corporate career into running the business full-time about 15 months ago. And I've now been growing and scaling the company across Nigeria, across a bunch of different African countries. Today, we're about 200 plus outlets across Nigeria. We're also available in Ghana and Kenya. And before COVID, we had plans to launch. We had plans to launch in the US and UK markets. So we've had to push that back indefinitely. So I'm hoping that at least before the end of 2020, that we can still manage at least an Amazon.com or .co.uk launch to make our products available in those markets. In the meantime, since COVID has happened, before COVID, a bulk of our business was from retail and salon bulk purchases. I would say that's what accounted for most of our sales. And then since COVID has happened, we've seen a surge in our direct-to-consumer orders. Luckily, My first plan and strategy for 2020 was to amplify our digital presence. And so we've seen a huge, and I had no visibility or any vision that COVID would happen. So I'm just, extremely grateful that, we had invested in our digital platform quite heavily. And so we've seen a surge in direct to consumer orders because people can't go to salons, including me. So I'm wearing my hair all supernatural now. and people are learning to do their hair at home. So, people are caring for their hair at home, learning their textures, taking off their wigs, learning to touch their hair. And we're seeing a direct relation to that with our sales in hair care products. And there's been a lot of talk about wellness and self-care during this COVID time, and I think that has transitioned for us. So we have a thing that we say now that self-care, that hair care is the new self-care. And I'm very grateful for that, and sort of learning to communicate directly with my customers, because before we eased the lockdown in Nigeria about 2 weeks ago, none of my staff were able to come to work. So I was packing and processing orders on my own all day, every day. So it was a really good way to get to know the brand from scratch, just from feel and see that. So that's been my story so far. I'm happy to take any questions as they come.
Thank you very much. Okay. We leave Lagos for a short while. We're back in Kingston with Laurie Robinson. Our webinar is in fact powered by Sagicor, but Laurie is a beauty individual. I mean, everything about Laurie is, for those of us who are, oftentimes on the blue or green or red carpet awaiting her arrival, it usually is worth the wait. Laurie Robinson is the Executive Financial Advisor, Sagicor Life Jamaica, and the Director of Unwind Distributors. Laurie, all yours.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Morning again.
Morning.
Right, so as Novio said, thanks for the compliments. I wear 2 caps. I'm the Executive Financial and Investment Advisor at Sagicor, and I'm also the Director of Unwind Distributors. So today, I'm really going to wear the cap of Unwind Distributors. It was birthed from my passion for business and my purpose for helping others. And on a note of helping others, I just want to mention, what Sagicor has done during this whole COVID pandemic of over 20 million being, put into our economy towards ventilators, towards ensuring that students get their educational material and impacting the rural areas too for students. I just want to give a thumbs up for that. And as well as allowing us to have this discussion today about beauty, which is definitely a mood enhancer. So I am a spa girl and I'm a wellness enthusiast. And Unwind was birthed from the fact that I've been looking for products that not only are functional and they are very effective, but they're also very healthy, very nurturing products from the earth, products that don't have things that are harmful, no harmful toxins, and so I've been researching, I've traveled, looking for the best things in certain industries, and that is what brought me to developing Unwind Distributors. Our flagship product is Dazzle Dry. Dazzle Dry is actually developed by Dr. Vivian Valenti, this little petite Asian woman who has over 50 years in the industry. She's a bioorganic chemist. She actually developed the first formulation of the gel polish that we all love today, back in the 90s. And she sold that patent when the FDA found out that UV lights could cause cancer. So she didn't want to be associated with that. So she sold her patent and she went ahead back to the drawing board and developed Dazzle Dry. Not only that, the UV lights emit what we call ultraviolet rays, and one of them is the UVA rays. The A stands for aging. So the LED and UV lamps actually ages people's skins, their hands over time. And so I noticed that personally because I was a gel girl. And, you know, when I found Dazzle Dry, I was like, I had to bring it to Jamaica. So it's actually, it's also a spa line. So you have your cuticle remover, your nail polish remover, and everything is clean, free of harmful toxins, free of carcinogenic and endocrine disrupting toxins. And for those who don't know, carcinogens are what causes cancer. They're cancer-causing toxins. There are also endocrine disrupting toxins in certain cosmetics that will, you know, affect your hormone balance. And so I was proud to be able to bring something that would go on like a regular polish. It looks like regular polish, so a lot of people get confused with it and they don't apply it properly. But it goes on like regular polish almost. It's a system. It dries rock hard like gel in just 5 minutes. And it lasts as long as gel, sometimes longer. This is a week and a day today. Don't know if you can see, but it lasts very long, and you just wipe it off with regular nail polish remover, so there's no soaking. It also has nutrients, so it strengthens the natural nail bed, and once proper application is done, people have great results with it. And so it's been an honor for me to spread this product here. We have it all over in Sandals regionally, Couples, Round Hill, Jamaica Inn, Rio, Secrets, basically all resorts, Hyatt, Jewels, and a lot of salons and spas in Jamaica. It does require intricate training, and that's, you know, something that we're going through and battling through with certain salons. But so far, once I train the people, they have optimal results. And I also distribute another line which deals with our inner beauty, because we have to remember, you know, anything we put on our skin, first and foremost, even our nails are porous just like our skin. So things can actually be absorbed into our bloodstream when we put it on our nails. And women are not cognizant of that fact. And so Dr. Valenti also developed this line to educate not only persons who are doing their nails, but nail technicians who are sitting down in enclosed areas that with all these chemicals going around. And you'll notice that with nail technicians, by the time they hit certain ages, they tend to have respiratory issues. And these are things that we don't discuss. And so I'm here to try and educate and to let people know that there are other options out there. But, you know, if you like what you like, but at least there's an option. And so we also distribute a line called Mode, which is a sports nutrition line. So we have to look about our inner beauty, what we're taking in. Because the reality is that, especially now in COVID times, it's tough. It's tough on the mental state. And so all of us here in this industry, we're like therapists in our own rights, lifting the moods of everybody, putting their state in everybody's mind in a better state. Whether they can come to us, as Raquel said, stay close. We're trying to stay close with our clients. We have been impacted by COVID. Of course, the spa industry, especially the hotel sector, tourism sector, you know, that has taken a hit, and so have we. But persons have been buying their kits and their products from us directly. So thank God for, you know, the whole online setup, as other persons have mentioned, because that has really lifted business and made people more aware of us through social media promotions and people coming into our outlets. So Unwind Distributors is just basically here to help persons to understand that it's okay to use natural ingredients. They do work, and they'll be healthy for you. They're also better for the planet, for our environment, and our environment is crying out right now. So, you know, beauty doesn't have to mean that you have to compromise, right? You can do beauty and still do it in a healthy manner. And that's what Unwind Distributors is about.
Thank you very much. And there's no better start to the day than, you know, a quick shower or bath, which takes us to Yuri Nassif, who's the DCP Successors Limited Director from Dominica.
Morning,
Good morning.
Morning to all panelists, and thank you.
Good morning.
I believe you said you're going to run
We
the
are.
video.
We are.
Okay.
So as
So
we're
I will
ready,
wait.
we're ready to run it now. So as soon as it's finished, over to you.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Almost there.
The empty kettles with ingredients added to it.
Here
and
we
then
go.
we make the finished product. Right now we have the caustic, the coconut oil going in. And we boil up with we boil with the steam. Other manufacturers around the Caribbean import the chips to produce soup. But we made it here, we press it and we export it.
Coconut oil from Guyana. The caustic soda comes from Trinidad. The salt from Jamaica. Then we have the cartons which are made in St. Lucia.
Some of the raw materials for the finished product from Trinidad. After Maria, as you say, a lot of people thought we would be gone, but some real ideas came. The people are determined to push the company forward, which I'm happy about. The people are real, man, and they really want to see the company grow.
And the secret has got to be in that coconut oil. You should actually call this the soap One Caribbean, since the entire
Thank
Caribbean
you.
is involved. Over to you, Ivo, and welcome.
Thank you, Novia. Thank you, thank you. I've heard some remarkable stories from all the panelists, and I'm sure many of them who interact directly with their customers, spas, salons, have taken a hit from the pandemic. But I want to assure them that once it's all over and we return to normal, people are going to want to be pampered and they're going to be looking for wonderful treatments. So I'm wishing that you're all going to have a robust recovery and wish all of you great success. I'm based in Dominica, and our business started during World War II. Dominica is nestled between Guadeloupe and Martinique in the Caribbean, two French islands. And of course, France fell to the Germans in World War II. So there were German U-boats operating out of Martinique and Guadeloupe. And you couldn't get any essential supplies imports into Dominica. So there was no soap. And my grandfather began to make soap in his backyard. And that's the birth of the modern soap industry in Dominica. And at that time, we realized that we needed to have some level of self-sufficiency and security in food and hygiene products. I think along the way, we've lost sight of that, and the pandemic has brought that to the fore again. A lot of us probably felt threatened with our food security, the access of soap, bleach, disinfectants. So the pandemic, like World War II for us, gives us the opportunity to recalibrate, focus what's important and essential for the people of the region, and ensure that we are able to produce what we require. The factory started birth was in World War II, and it was later sold to a multinational, and it got hit by two hurricanes, Erica in 2015 and Maria in 2017, and got fairly badly damaged and was shut down. And 200 people lost their jobs, and it lay idle for a couple of years. So a group of us got together and we bought it and restarted. And it's been a wonderful experience because the staff who were there and who've gotten the jobs back, they're so grateful, and they make the company what it is. They know their work, they're completely dedicated to the vision of the company. And it's not like starting a new company where you got to learn the ropes. They all know what they're doing. And the challenge we have is we're making a product which keeps people's skin healthy on a daily basis. But we're in an open market, and all the big brands from the US are present on our shelves. So we've got to be creative to come up with products which provide differentiation to the consumer, while at the same time draws on our Caribbean experience. So in the video, we take pride in stating that the soap is made from coconut oil. The coconut oil used to come from Dominica. The hurricane demolished our coconut trees, so we now source from Guyana. And lots of the ingredients come from different parts of the Caribbean. Maria, I believe, was making the point that soap, well, the industry started 4,000 years ago. I'd like to go 1,000 years back and say that soap making started 5,000 years ago by the ancient Babylonians. And what's remarkable is that the same basic chemistry which was used, a fat and an alkali, whether the fat is an animal fat or a vegetable oil, and an alkali, is basically saponified and you get soap. And despite all the transformations we've seen in technology over these 5,000 years, the chemistry of soap making remains the same. And I think many of us took soap for granted. We just assumed it was just there. But with the pandemic, soap has become sexy again, and we were reminded how important it is to our daily lives. And we look forward to participating in regional production and exports. Dominica is 70,000 people, so we have no real viable domestic market which you can build an industry on. So we've always had to export. We're 90% export, and we export from the US all the way down to Suriname in the south. And of course, we export to Jamaica too. So this introduction, I will say thank you and hand back.
Thank you very much, Ivor. And just as an FYI, Marie mentioned, the 70s and flower power. Well, Ivor is married to a former supermodel, a Jamaican supermodel, Nancy Martin. So just as an aside. So even a bigger and special welcome, Ivor.
Thank you.
We speak now to Kimberly Forbes, who is the creative director of Ito Rejuve. She's a pharmacist, and she decided that she needed thicker lashes and thicker brows, and she decided that we all needed thicker lashes and thicker brows. So of course, we were really, really excited to start and to continue. And it's great to welcome you, Kimberly.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to my fellow panelists, viewers. Novia, thank you so much for having me. Allow me to be a part of this diverse and, of course, exclusive panel. I appreciate it so much. So, as Novia mentioned, I'm Kimberly Forbes, CEO and Creative Director of Ito Rejuve. I'm also a pharmacist. So, I've heard everyone's story and I'm so inspired. I am actually very new to the beauty industry, actually. The idea was curated around August 2019, and I officially launched on November 2019. And I must say, the Jamaica Observer, Novia, as I launched, they were ready to explore my brand and make my brand aware to the public. So I have to thank her so much for that. It's been a tremendous journey. I am so grateful. In regards to why the product started, we all know we love beauty. From eyebrows to lashes to smooth skin, it's kind of what's trending now. I mean, it's always been trending. But with this industry, I realized that a lot of ladies they started the fusion lashes, started the strip lashes, and somehow their lashes got damaged in between, and they had to take a break just to regroup and rebuild their natural beauty. So Ito Rejuve was created just to enhance, restore the natural you without compromising on the integrity or the quality of the products. So we created the lash serum, which actually you just apply it at nighttime. The ingredient is 100% Jamaican black castor oil. Now, I know you guys must be familiar with this active ingredient. It's been in our culture for ages. We're all familiar with using it on your scalp to thicken your hair. And I thought to myself, I researched the active component in black castor oil, and I realized actually ricinoleic acid, which is excellent, stimulating for hair growth, to thicken your lashes, to lengthen your lashes, and even your eyebrows. And I said, hey, I haven't seen this yet from a Jamaican market. Let's introduce this to the island and hopefully expand it worldwide. And I started off with this. I first had samples I gave out to my friends and wanted an honest feedback on the product, and everybody came back with such great reviews. I mean, even Novia herself invested in the product, and the feedback has been amazing in regards to just maintaining your natural beauty and enhancing your lashes and your eyebrows. The next big thing with our product line that we launched is that castor oil goes beyond just hair. I mentioned earlier the active ingredient, ricinoleic acid, and how it's so beneficial to your skincare routine. It's actually reduces inflammation. It's a natural bacteria fighting agent. Of course, it's hydrating and moisturizing, rich in vitamin E. So of course, I also share the benefits of castor oil with that. So I have it in a dropper bottle as well that you can use to moisturize the skin along with your hair. So Ital Reju was really all about just enhancing and embracing the natural you. I feel like once you love the way you look, your confidence becomes unmatched. And once that is unmatched, I mean, your goals are just easy to take care of. You just knock those goals down. So I really wanted to invest in beauty and overall build confidence island-wide and worldwide. So with this as well, as I said, I'm so young and I'm learning so much even on this panel right now. We have a far way to go, and I'm willing to just delve right in and just build and explore of all the natural resources we have available and how it can enhance our beauty. So with that being said, we're currently working on a next product, which is so interesting, Ivor, that you mentioned your coconut oil soap, because coconut oil is actually the next main ingredient that I am doing heavy research on for hair care and skincare as well. So we're currently working on launching our new oil, which is going to be beneficial to moisturizing and hydrating the skin. So after you use your soaps, you can definitely branch off into how to hydrate and moisturize your skin, which is very essential in a balanced routine with skincare. So as I said, it's a lot more with COVID-19, of course. It's a bit of a deter. It's not our normal setting, but what I've learned is just to adapt. And people are at home and they're investing in themselves. They are saying, okay, I can't go to the hairdresser, I can't go to my salon every day, but let me see if I can improve my skincare, improve my hair care. And so this product's out there, and we've gotten, during this time, since they're no longer wearing the fusion lashes, they said, okay, I'm gonna invest and try and grow my natural lashes and try and work on embracing me in a natural and organic way. So as I said, we're using this time to more focus on our social media platform, pushing the products out there. We're already located in a few pharmacies island-wide, but just to have that interpersonal, that direct relations to our consumers, that's been a blessing as well. So yeah, that's a little recap or a little brief summary of Ital Reju and what we're about.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kimberly. We have to balance everybody, Kimberly, so that we bring all to the table, so that you can learn. And we're hoping to take a look at your new product. I'm not too sure if Chippy has found it, so that everybody can take a look at it, and so that you can obviously learn from everybody that's at the table here, right?
Yeah.
From as far as Toyin in Lagos, Nigeria, to here. So here you go for everybody to take a look at Ital Rejuve Jamaican Black Castor and Coconut Oil, 100% organic. What I love, especially Kimberly, is that of course you invest in the packaging. It's what makes it, that's what attracts us. That's why beauty makes us feel so good. We're spending the day at the spa. We're then going to the hairdresser, right? Ostensibly to go home and watch Netflix, because there's nowhere for us to go. But we still felt good. You know what I'm saying? We continue to feel good. That's the whole thing with beauty. It's an absolute mood booster, right? As I said, who else goes to the salon and does their hair to go to bed? But hey.
Well, I'm hoping that the Toyin has a formula for men.
I'm sure she can work. I'm sure Toyin, and I noticed, thank you, Garth, because I noticed Toyin mentioned the UK and the US. I did hear her mention the C words, the Caribbean, but I know that was just a mistake.
I need some help around here.
I think can we expose you bald, Garth? So we'll keep you bald.
That ship has sailed,
Absolutely no problem with that.
From Kimberly, we move to another young'un in Trinidad and Tobago, Catherine Nunez, the CEO of Immortelle Beauty. Catherine, tell us your story. I You know, my daughter gifted me with one of the many things I like things that look nice. So I picked up the rum bottle one morning and, put it on. I didn't have the glasses on and went to work and everybody was, oh, who you wearing? What you wearing? Kind of thing. I didn't even know who I was wearing, to tell the truth. I, called beloved and I went back into the bathroom with my glasses on and I immediately found Catherine Nurse and I've not looked back since. So Catherine, thank you. You've got a great product.
Thank you. Thank you for including me in this wonderful panel and for giving me the opportunity to represent Trinidad. That's like a big deal for me because, as you know, I love Trinidad dearly. But what I've really enjoyed about this conversation so far is seeing how all of the Jamaican beauty entrepreneurs all have relationships and all know each other and all support each other, because that definitely is how it is here as well. And as you know, Trinidad, we've had a kind of a strict situation with COVID-19. So all non-essential businesses have been closed. And Novia and Lisa, you will know that short haircuts require, it takes a village.
Well,
Absolutely.
we were going to dispatch a message to Dr. Rowley, but, hey.
Please.
Crisis, yeah.
Crisis.
It's not just the cuts every few weeks, it's the eyebrows. You done, and you have your team. You have your team for the
Correct.
So it's difficult so far because yes, as you all say, I'm so sorry, my doggy is barking, but it's a mood booster, it's a mood lifter, and it's really just for life. So about Immortelle. Immortelle is a business that I started around 9 years ago in Trinidad. I am a cosmetic chemist. I trained in the United States for several years in a lab that manufactured all sorts of different bath, body, hair, and skin products. Basically, any products without color, which is color cosmetics, is what we all know as makeup. So I decided that how the business model of the business was basically that we would develop the cosmetic formulations and we would sell them to companies to market and to sell. And then they therefore would reap all of the benefits. And then what I realized is that I was from a place that was basically ripe in potential for creating our own products that we could be proud of within Trinidad itself. So after a few years in the States, I came back to start my business, and we've been actually doing that for 9 years. Since then, the vision has evolved into, I really want to embrace the idea of a local product that can also be beautiful and something to be proud of.
Absolutely.
I like to say that the concepts of sophisticated and local should not be mutually exclusive.
Well said.
As local consumers and as local producers, just pride in what we can produce. So with Immortelle, we are always trying to make everything, the presentation, the packaging, as well as the product, as beautiful as possible to really have, sometimes in the Caribbean, we have this notion that once it's from, foreign countries, it's better. And we want to really prove that we can have luxury from local sources. And that's really the vision behind the business. Last year, about exactly a year ago, last week actually, we opened our first store. We put a lot of energy and effort into the decor and the design of the first brick and mortar store, but unfortunately now with COVID, has had to close temporarily. So our main pivot, it's not so much a pivot as much as the pivot in the energy. So we've always had e-commerce as an option since 2014. And it's so interesting because our local customers very much want to go into a store. They want to feel, they want to touch, especially with a fragrance product. They want to smell it. And so e-commerce was not, it was always available, but it was not a big part of the business. People would still email me and ask me if I had a product catalog. And I'd be like, well, no product catalog. But we do have this website here. And click on to see everything, pricing included, descriptions. And obviously since I'm very lucky that one of our brick and mortar locations still happens to be an essential business, which is a pharmacy, a large pharmacy in Port of Spain. But also, we have seen so much more traffic and so much more business activity come to our website, obviously, since all the non essential stores have closed. And that's been very exciting, trying to figure out how to get products out in the face of all of these restrictions. And also, the next step would be how to keep this going once everything goes back to normal, hopefully. How do we keep that activity on the e-commerce side? Trinidadians have found themselves doing things I'm sure just last year they would never have expected they'd be doing. They're WhatsApping for their groceries, they're WhatsApping for this and that, and they're ordering things online. And what we really want to do is to keep that same energy going forward and have online and e-commerce really be part of our businesses, our local businesses. So Immortelle, right now we are in a little bit of a freeze with manufacturing. The cosmetic supply chain has been very affected by COVID as well, in both the area of raw materials and in packaging, because basically anything you can put a hand sanitizer into, you can't really buy it for a lotion. So you can't buy bottles, you can't buy pumps. The lead times are very, very long right now, especially because China had the shutdown. That trickles down. So we're just really focusing on how to build up our social media following, build up even my expertise through different types of social media. YouTube, we're looking at new, Novia, you mentioned TikTok. So we're looking at new
gas generation.
Yes, where people what people are excited about right now and trying to figure out how to get the eyes on us at the same time, even though we do have the limitations in place. So that's Immortelle in a nutshell.
We'll come back to you. Thank you very much, Catherine. Because I want to speak further to both yourself and Kimberly about the packaging, because that is really, you mentioned luxury, but the packaging is really, really outstanding. I think Kimberly could, put a little bit more in the bottles, but it's called repeat business, or is she mean? We're in Barbados now, and there's so much going on in Barbados, but we really wanted to spotlight Kim Clark, because why would Kim Clark has been spotlighted by Oprah. Kim Clark is Happy Feet Hands Barbados Principal and Creative Director. Welcome, Kim, and thank you very much for joining us. Over to you.
Good afternoon.
Oh,
good afternoon, Novia, guests and viewers. Thank you for having me, Novia, this afternoon. Actually,
thank you. It's 11 o'clock in Kingston. Good afternoon to you in Barbados.
Okay. Also, Novia, let me thank you publicly for featuring Happy Feet Hands Barbados in the Jamaican Observer.
You're more than welcome.
Giving me that opportunity to be known regionally and internationally. Thank you so much.
We're Meghan and Oprah's friends here, so if Oprah has you on the radar, we have to have you too.
Okay, it's her little tech, but I'll get that story. Well, I am Kim Clark of Happy Feet Hands Barbados. Happy Feet Hands Barbados is a home-based nail studio for natural nails. When I say natural nails, no acrylics, tips, or nail extensions. I do manicures and pedicures using the recognizable brands OPI, SE, Dior, Shellac. Also a local brand by the name of Exotica. They're very good. And Meraki Spa is another local brand. She supplies my scrubs, my massage oils, and my candles. Happy Feet Hands was established in 2012 on completion of the beauty therapy course I did at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology. I started with pedicures only. I just love pedicures. It's something with transformation, before and after my service. Why natural nails? I saw there was a need for the care of natural nails and doing manicures here. There was a big hype for acrylics and nail extensions, but in the words of Coco Chanel, in order to be irreplaceable, one has to be different.
Correct.
So I opted to go that route, and I have found my niche. I can say there are about 7 nail salons that I can think about, who primarily and solely deals with the care of natural nails and manicures, and I am included in that number. The name Happy Feet Hands came about from a client. She would usually come for her service, and on arrival, I usually ask the clients to select their colors. Jan is her name, and she will say, I don't know what color I want. All I want is happy feet. Happy feet. So I would say, I love the sound of that. And it was so fitting. And that light bulb just went off. And that was the name of the business, Happy Feet. Hands came on after, through same Jan. She came subsequently for Petty, and she was going to a wedding. And she was like, well, Kim, you know, you have to do my hands. But I hated manis. But how can you say no to your client? So I reluctantly, quietly did the mani. And that is where the hands came from, Happy Feet Hands. Barbados came on after. Why not? I am from Barbados. I love my country. And I wanted to show the world we do quality work here on the island as well. My aha moment came on the 28th of June, 2012, with a direct message in my IG inbox. And it went, I would love to add you to my Footnan Union page. That would be highlighting the best pedicurists around the world. Send me a nice photo of yourself, where to find you in Barbados, and your signature pedicure. Signed, Miss Gloria Williams, Foot Nanny CEO. Now, Gloria Williams is Oprah Winfrey's personal nail tech. That message stayed in my DM for about 2 to 3 weeks, thinking it was a hoax. After much thought, I sent off the info she requested. 3 days after, I saw a photo with the words Barbados and a coconut tree came up in my feed. And she wrote under it, next time you go to the Caribbean, island of Barbados, make sure you stop by Happy Feet Hands Barbados and experience a wonderful pedicure.
Wow.
The second photo was of me personally and a picture of myself. And she introduced me to the world as a member of Foot Nanny and approved by her. The third pic was a photo of my pedicure. Now, I don't know Gloria Williams from Adam. I never met her. But yet this lady is marketing Happy Feet Hands, giving me the exposure. And I have gained more followers. I have gained more clients. I mean, followers from the US would message me asking for recommendations on a color to wear to dinner, to a work event, to a party, and they would actually send me photos of the outfit and shoes. And I would always oblige. And let me say this, social media has been very good to me, very, very good to me. And I always reply or engage my followers. I think it's very important. Whether it is in French, Spanish, Italian, or German. That's why we have Google Translate.
That's right.
I see it as a sign of respect. I see it as a sign of respect. So, you know, and that is my story.
And what a lovely story it is. I would like to engage some of that we have quite a few questions. I'm going to start with you, Toyin. People are concerned about hair loss, hair growth. So what suggestions, Toyin? I know Garth wants his hair back, but, you know, we've told him that it's a bit too late for that. But, Toyin, you know, women, when my hairdresser wants to get, to put me in my place, she says, you're going to lose all of your hair, right? So, you know, people people speak about their hair. So there's hair loss, Toyin. So what are some of your suggestions? And this is from a Caribbean person, by the way, via Toronto.
Fantastic. Well, with regards to hair loss, there's so many ways to approach that. There could be a hereditary issue with that, and it could also be behavioral. So what I find is if you're the one caring for your hair, if it's not a hereditary issue or a medical or clinical issue, if it's a clinical issue, I would say you have to have it checked out by a hair specialist or something like that. If it's just a behavioral issue, there's a tendency for us to over process our hair, over manipulate our hair.
Toyin, don't stress that too much, Toyin.
I'm saying nothing.
Or manipulate, not giving. I'm a proponent of healthy hair, however we choose to wear the hair. So you don't have to worry about that. But you have to care for it the way you care about anything else, the way you care about your skin, the way you sleep with it, and then the products that you use to care for it in between styles. So there's no one specific formula for hair loss. It's on a case-by-case basis, but you do have to give your hair. In Africa, for example, or in Nigeria, we're very vanity focused when it comes to our hair. And before COVID, we're more concerned about how the hair looks for the next party than the health of the hair. And now that we're all stuck at home, we're being forced to actually let our hair breathe and care for our scalp, etc. So that's what I would say. You just have to give your hair a break and be very particular about the products that you use and the ingredients.
You mentioned sleep, Toyin. When you
sorry?
say sleep, you mentioned sleep.
Yes.
Right. The way you sleep, the pillow that you sleep on, what?
I mean, as a Black woman, you have to sleep with a wrap on your silk or satin wrap around your hair, regardless of regardless of how you wear it. I mean, unless you have someone massaging your hair while you're asleep, but barring that, either a silk pillowcase or wrap your hair to go to sleep.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to not ask any more questions, Toyin. But when you wake up in the morning and there's no wrap, it's missing. It's missing, Toyin.
Chances are
Perhaps sometimes you don't put it on in the first place, but hey.
Half the night before it's
Sorry, Toyin?
I said chances are that the wrap stayed on or the scarf stayed on at least half the time before it finally slipped off. I think that happens to all of us.
Okay. Thank you, Toyin. Let's go back now to the beginning, and I'm going to start with Marie. Beauty, a multi-billion-dollar industry. What are we not doing, Sima? Or what else could we do to really push the industry further in the region? And that's for Marie Simone. Have we lost her, the face place? Okay, perhaps Raquel, do you want to answer that question until we find Sima, please? What else needs to be done to move us into that?
It all depends. It's such a wide scale Novia to look at. So I'm thinking, to like most persons on the panel, they're going with natural products. Again, I said before, we're going back to basics. The castor oil, the coconut oil. So we're going back to basics. Like my products, I ensure that it's all healthy because what I want for myself is what I want for my clients. So I'm going to be on market. And if you're going to go into the beauty business, I'm saying go natural. Natural and organic and green is the way to go. To push it, you're going to have to find your niche and you're going to have to market and market and more market. You're going to have to put yourself out there, whether or not you want to go or not. You're going to have to network day, night. While you're sleeping, you have to be networking. So it's not putting 100% of you and more into your brand. You're going to have to push it to the next level. the Caribbean market, you realize people are coming up more now with their own brands. Again, we need to make it as natural as possible, as green and friendly as possible, because people are taking care of themselves right now more than ever, men and women, whatever age group, they're taking care of themselves. And everybody wants natural. So as a Caribbean market, we're like what Nova is doing right now, the Jamaica Observer is doing. Having this panel, having this conversation is putting us out there. So we have to also thank the media and not just thinking we can do it on our own. So we also in the business have to support our media companies in terms of getting us out there.
We
So
love you,
have
Raquel. Say that again.
advertise. So you have to put yourself out there. You have to advertise. You can be as lucky as Miss Barbados, where she got that write-up, and that's a big write-up. That is putting bread and butter in her pocket that she never saw coming. So you have to advertise continuously, consistently. Ensure that your products are on point above the rest. It is a global competition. However, there's room for all of us.
Yes, yes.
In your niche, I said, you find that niche. I found a niche. We launched our men's collection, we found our niche. We launched our lipstick collection, we found our niche. Because I like good stuff. I was born that way and I cannot change. And I want the best. So if I'm going to make a lipstick collection, it has to be the best for me and my client. So I ensure it's organic. Because we're going in a way now where people are taking care of themselves. COVID now, why? Because everybody is afraid to use stuff. Everybody's afraid to use stuff from China. I ensured not to compromise my brand by going into Asia. I made my stuff American made with a company that believes in green. So to move from just being a small brand to a global brand, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a who knows who. As a Caribbean nation, we have to pull together. The media, we can't live without the media. So hands down to this panel, this is a good thing. How many other media companies are doing this for their people? Think about it. Not many. So again, you can't have a brand and not market. You can't have a product and not advertise. It just will not move, it will not work. So you're going to have, marketing takes money, we know that. But you're going to have to find unique ways. Strike a deal with Observer or whoever right now that's putting ads out there. Observer is prominently online now. So you're going to have to work with them and advertise online because they have a big following. So to help the industry, you can't forget the media company. So you have to have a balance with your marketing, ensure your products are on point and not just by just word of mouth. Your product has to stand for what it says. If it says organic and green, it must be that. Do not be fake. Do not make products that are fake. Make things that you can say you stand up for what you believe in and you can speak wholeheartedly on your product. But I can't work without advertising. My business can't go without advertising. When you think, who are your buyers? The buyers are the people who are still buying the newspaper. The teenagers will shop, but do they have the money? They're going to get the money from their parents. So you have to market to both persons. So you have to look at your niche. Who are your buyers and who are just your readers and your browsers? So the Caribbean market, to move it to the next level, we need media help. We need our own people help. We need our own people to buy our products. We need that community to be built.
Thank you very much, Raquel. I think it's also important that we know each other as well, right? Raquel needs to know Catherine. Catherine needs to know Kimberly. Kimberly needs to know Kim. Kim needs to know Laurie. We need to know. We need to know each other. We need to know. We need to know Kamisha. We need to know each other. So I think that's another avenue as well. I'm going to speak back to Kimberly and the importance. Why did you feel that your product? And then I'll ask Catherine the same question. Why did you feel that your product needed to look a certain way? Mind you, we still think you need to put a little bit more in it, but you know, hey.
It's actually full. The bottle is actually full. But I think that your packaging is so important to your brand. Before people even know who you are, the first thing they're seeing is your packaging. That's going to catch their attention. So I think that I invested so much time into my packaging because I was thinking of myself as a consumer. What would I want to see on the shelves? What would something I've never seen before, and I'm looking by, grab my eyes, say, hey, what's this? And so I wanted something that was vibrant and something that exuded our culture or vibrant energy Jamaican culture and could stand out on any shelf globally. That was what I was thinking of when I created IsoReduce packaging. And as you said, with the eyelash serum, and even though you think it's small, I wanted something that was also convenient.
It's beautiful.
So
yes.
you can just drop it in your handbag when you're going on the road or even maybe in a traveling trip. It wasn't a hassle to carry around. Even our packaging, we even thought about that to that extent, traveling and up and down, and we don't want it to leave us behind because we know how good we are or how good our product is. So of course, with the packaging, we wanted it to represent our brand. We wanted it to reflect our honest and organic nature. And we also wanted it not to be dull and boring, but to have a vibrant energy to it that you can catch your eye on the shelf. And you'd want to learn more about IsoRejuve. You'd want to be a part of the IsoRejuve family and team.
Thank you. Catherine?
So, similarly, I am a consummate consumer of cosmetics. I make my own, yes, but I'm always buying cosmetic products all the time. And so, funnily enough, I actually don't even have that many problem issues that I'm trying to address. I just really like the products. So when I shop for different reasons. I'm not looking for something to solve a problem. I'm looking for what engages me and what I connect to emotionally. And packaging is the first thing that does that. You basically experiencing the product first with your eyes, and then you test it to see if it works for you. So understanding that about myself first, I wanted to basically inject that into everything that I created. I have taken products that I think haven't worked and kept the product exactly the same and upgraded and updated the packaging and seen the sales quadruple just of that. And so I always try to start now from the most luxurious angle that can still be affordable to the customer. But it's basically my kind of wide view of global products that make me believe that packaging is so important.
Laurie, as somebody who always shows up, what's your take on beauty, a multi-billion-dollar industry? And we've heard from Raquel. What's your what would you like to say about it?
Well, I wanted to speak on the fact that, we're going into a very unique time in this world with respect to contact with each other. And for the service industry, especially in beauty, we tend to just focus on services when really and truly 70% of any spa or salon's revenue should be products. And and we need to mentality of or spas locally and regionally, it's about it's services centered when it really should be product centered, and then everything comes from there. So I think that's very important, and to take advantage of social media. Advertising doesn't have to be that expensive sometimes. We have social media as a tool that we just didn't have before, and it can be relatively cost effective. As well as speaking on differentiation, because I just love trying products. Like Catherine, I love products. Anything that I distribute has to have my stamp of approval on it, and I use it. So how do you differentiate yourself? How do you stand out? Your packaging should be, centered around who you want this, whose hands you want this to be in. What type of individual is that person? What kind of quality would they like to see from you? It's a lifestyle brand. Beauty is lifestyle. So we have to make sure that we're differentiating ourselves from the myriad of products that are out there, because it is a saturated industry. And so we have to keep that in mind. And another thing I want to touch on is, you have some persons in the industry that they think they know it all. And the reality is that you always have to be a student of any industry that you're in. continued learning, you know, going out there to different expos, speaking to different suppliers, you know, looking for ingredients that are environmentally safe and sustainable. You know, what are you doing for the next level? And if you're, for example, millennials are very into the environment, you know, and so we have to be thinking forward about the industry in that manner of, you know, as Raquel said, going green. I mean, I'm in the industry with insurance and investments, and I'm seeing these lifestyle diseases just ramping up. And they're happening for many different reasons, and we're not zoning on the fact that we need to ensure that we're promoting healthy lifestyles, not just from a services standpoint, but the products we're using, the products we're making, and the products that we're pushing out there, and think big. We're in the stage of globalization. You know, we're all making our products as a Caribbean, as a region. We can come together and infiltrate the global market as well.
Yeah. Right. Thank you for that. I mean, you're absolutely spot on. And my thing as well is that we have to be bigger thinkers in the region, right? We have to be bigger thinkers. We have to be prepared to, whether it's to learn from L'Oreal and take it to where it matters, or, perfect it, right? Why, I asked a simple question when I met Catherine through Immortelle Beauty. Why is this not in all of the spas? I'm still asking that question, right? Kamisha, let me bring you in here. You have, as you said, you've grown up going to the different salons, going to the different hairdressers. Your aunt, Ambassador Madge Barrett, was known for always being flawless. What prompted you to really say, okay, you were working with your sister, you were comfortable, but what prompted you to really go larger than life and to open Adam and Eve?
All right, so
and also hold that point as well. Who are you expecting to walk through the doors?
All right. Well, for me, Novia, as I said to you before, I am a people person, right? I love customer service, and that was a part of my background working at New Line. I was big into marketing, so it was general manager / marketing. So that was my makeup from the very start. It started from school. I'm sure everybody's probably familiar with having to set your mummies here. Back then, the mothers used to call us, and we used to have to set them here. And, even though it sort of wrenched up our face a bit, that was almost like every day, come and set my hair. And we used to, even at school again, we used to have, it used to be the whiteout, where we used to use it to draw the French lines on the nails. So I think that girly instinct is in all of us from even growing up. But as I said to you, going to the spas, it was almost very captivating for me, for the spas that existed. Probably when I was from around, I would say 19 or even younger. I had the opportunity to go to different spas, and I was just in awe. And then I started in Jamaica. It's not about knocking our Jamaicans, right? But where spa is coming from and where we are going, it's a whole new world. Sometimes we as Jamaicans, we use the word spa too loosely. So it is just for me that, there is a certain standard that I say, no, I want all our Jamaicans to come up to. Whether it be as well it is in terms of even as the government bodies that needs to put the certain standards in place and ensure that we all are licensed, and in terms of because even from the knowledge of the products, we also have to have the knowledge of the services, because if we are not licensed and trained to do the right things, we shouldn't be working on the clients in the first place. So it is from all aspects of, you know, putting a spa together. For me, as I said to you, it has been quite a bit of a learning process, in and out of schools, as well as in terms of just the application, just learning the business from ground up. It has been a lot of work, and in terms of, as you say, Novia, for me, my niche is catering to everyone.
Okay, right.
The message is Adam and Eve. It's for male, it's for female. It is relaxation. It is pampering. It is just giving back. I mean, one of the passion for me is seeing that client coming in after a long day. They earn their money. They deserve to be pampered, right? I mean, you know, from very young, I have it in my mind that speaks to, if someone is coming to spend their money with you, just remember they have the opportunity to go to anybody. Exactly. So don't forever you believe, say, them have to come to you. And that is something that I try to impart to my team members. You know, when we see our clients walking through the door, we are supposed to be racing to them, rushing to them, rolling out the red carpet. You know, because that dollar counts. Because you have to remember, one bad message is not just that one person. It's going to be 10, it's going to be 20 persons receiving that one negative message about your company. So, you know, and then even if there are going to be times that we buck our toe, right? It won't be all perfect. But the times that we do meet upon that negative, it is how it is that you try and correct it.
Okay, thank you.
I have to say one thing, Novia, which I have to appreciate you on this journey. Novia, I think you are actually our Jamaican Oprah, to be honest.
Finally.
I always have to celebrate you as a woman, because you celebrate so many of us in business. You have been there from the opening of our doors to even being here this morning. So I have to celebrate you on that, and I have to just even leave this note. It's in the details. That's one of the things that I've heard from you so constantly. It's in the details. And every time I hear that, I say, really break it down in the details. What does she mean? It's every aspect of, you know, how the cushion is to turn. It's the colors on the wall. It is how you speak. It's how you carry yourself. It's those who you associate yourself with. Everything is in the details, and that is something that I've carried throughout my career. So I appreciate you for that.
Thank you very much. Ivo, you were off when we were speaking about luxury. So what can we expect? What more can we expect? I mean, you've got a luxurious soap, you know, oozing with coconut oil. It lathers across our skin beautifully and doesn't leave us ashen. But why are we not in that sought out for luxury?
Why are we not that sought out for luxury?
For luxury, yes.
Yeah.
Why isn't there a demand on what we have? We've got lots of good things, but why? What do we need to do? What are we not doing?
Yeah. Well, I think the most important thing is authenticity. Authenticity in the product conception and how we market it. And we've got to speak to the heart and soul of Caribbean people. They've got to feel your product. And I think that is a huge part of it. And it's interesting that, you know, 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, there were maybe 4 industrial scale soap manufacturers in the region. There are many people now who are doing lovely boutique artisanal soaps.
Yes, yes.
On a small scale, artisanal, but there's really one major soaper left who actually makes soap from the raw materials like coconut oil. The others import soap chips from the Far East. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes, they import soap chips from the Far East and basically compact it into bars. So it's like importing chocolate chips from the US, melting it, put it into bars and say that you're making chocolate. So authenticity is key, and backward linkages to the farm, if possible, is always an added advantage. And I think ultimately, luxury is going to come from authenticity. And you never quite know what luxury means. You go into Whole Foods in the US, and the curve there for soaps is bars are sold naked without wrappers, almost like how we sell blue soap in the Caribbean. And there's nothing luxurious, nothing fancy. It's a bar of soap, it's a plain cut bar, and you pull a paper bag from a stash and you put your soap in there. It's all part of the environmental packaging, reduce waste, etc. I think authenticity is the word that I want to focus on.
Okay, and also, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go ahead.
I was going to ask you, is it that we're lacking in, yes, I mean, but Whole Foods is all about marketing. It's the success is all about the marketing, the push behind it. Is it that we are not marketing what we do effectively?
No, I don't think so. I think we market effectively within our territories, but what a lot of us have not been able to do is step out of our territories and go beyond our territories. So I'm sure all the panelists do a fabulous job in their territory, but we used to sell all the bar soap in every cruise ship cabin in the Caribbean came from our factory. We had to go out there and do that. So I'd encourage all the panelists who have products to engage in the export market, learn the different territories, and build your brand through exports. And exactly what you do at home to promote your brand, do it overseas as well.
Excellent point. We will, Sima, are you on? Can you hear me? Can we unmute? Right. Are you hearing me now?
Can you hear me? Yes, can you hear me, Novia?
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly. We wanted to find out from you. You know, you've got the school component of the Face Place. You've got the spa component of the Face Place. You've got the product component of the Face Place. What, and we're speaking generally, you just heard Ivor. He wants everybody here to be as passionate in terms of pushing their product outside of the region to export. What would you say about getting the Caribbean name out there, getting our products out there?
Well, I think it's absolutely spot on, because before I got, off due to technical difficulties, and thank you, Natalie, so much for helping me get back on.
We're still trying to find Lisa.
Oh, no, it's the area, and Lisa is close to me. So I think Flo is having some problems in this area.
Okay.
So Natalie advised me what to do. Anyway, but that's pretty much spot on. And what I've learned from this panel and this group has been so insightful, because our proximity regionally to many centers of demand is closer than we think. And so, yes, we do have to push our product out there. We do have to push ourselves beyond the limits that we sometimes impose on ourselves and really spread our wings. One of the great things about this forum that I have learned through the soaps and even as far away as Nigeria is that we're putting more of our cultural legacies into our products. And with the castor oil and all of that, and that's amazing. We're putting our cultural legacies in our products, as well as not only health but the healing practices that these products, these indigenous ingredients bring. And it's just amazing that for us here in the Caribbean, we're now able to have more of the Caribbean in the spa and not just spas. So we're able to now introduce some of the Caribbean in the spas through the product, and not just the services but the products that we use. So it is important for us, yes, to spread our wings, use the location of our region to serve other markets, because there are demands in other markets. There are a lot of people in other countries of multi-ethnic backgrounds who can benefit from all that we have to offer in terms of our knowledge in skincare and related beauty services. So with the school regarding our training, what we have done, we have used the opportunity of COVID. And I mean, just like with any opportunity that happens, if any fallout that happens, whether it's environmental or economic, or in this case, medical, you use what would seem to be a downfall as an opportunity to push forward. So you look at those opportunities, which is what we have done with our training, and have now engaged in an online platform similar to this to engage our students. And when we do our practical assessments in a way more intimate way than we had done before. So it's a win-win for everybody. So again, I'm just thankful for this because it reaffirms
where we are moving, and what we have learned, so that we can strengthen our, position in the marketplace and continue to be relevant and viable.
Absolutely. Thank you. Kim, I'll give you the last.
Right.
Kim, would you like to add anything?
Yes, I want to speak on the possibilities of wellness in making the Caribbean as a wellness destination. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay. Caribbean people and visitors are seeking healthier lifestyles through exercise, through better diets, through beauty care treatments. We already in the Caribbean have the infrastructure. We have the ambience. We have lovely beaches. We have 365 days of sun. There's raw nature. We have clean air. What we have to do is come together as an organization. I mean, all the key players, the nail techs, the hairdressers, the barbers, spa managers, where we can air our grievances and share ideas, involve the powers at be. We need affordable airfare to travel within the region.
That's the start. That's a good place to start.
We need competitive and affordable accommodation. Look at our competition. Malaysia and Thailand are leading now. We need to learn from them. We need to find out what they're doing. Train our staff at an international level. That is paramount. And we need access to quality products. We need duty-free concessions. We need tax breaks where we buy our equipment, And each island in the Caribbean has an indigenous ingredient that we can use in our products. Jamaica, you have your coffee. Barbados, we have sugarcane and aloe. Grenada, there's spices. And every island, there's a coconut tree, right?
Absolutely. So
exactly.
We do need that synergy, definitely.
And Trinidad is a hub for manufacturing. So with all that is said, what are we waiting for? We need to get on that mission.
Well, we will very soon. Laurie, what would you like to add as we count down to the end of this webinar?
Another reason for me putting Unwind distributors together. So for example, I am the exclusive distributor for Dazzle Dry in Jamaica and in the Caribbean. And the reason behind Unwind is to allow the region to experience, very good quality products. But the goal for Unwind is to allow the world to see what the Caribbean has to offer in terms of wellness products, beauty products, food, etc. And so I think, this whole platform, Novia, thank you so much for putting this together. It's very instrumental, and it's the catalyst that will help us to move forward and to pick on each other's brains and see how we can come together and, put the Caribbean's name out there successfully.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Toyin what her views are as we wrap up, to share not really your views, but, a last word.
I just think that, the world is a global village now, and I completely agree with what the other panelists have said with regards to, being more proud of our ingredients. I mean, the ethos behind Olori for me is we use African ingredients from between West Africa all the way to North Africa. Each of our products have naturally occurring ingredients that are unique to the African continent. And I think that, with a unique story, the world is ready to have products or to use products that are from different parts of the world that are not commonly dominant. I was just discussing this the other day that, you hear the word K-beauty, which is Korean beauty. You hear J-beauty, which is Japanese beauty. And this alludes to specific ingredients unique to those markets. even just the other day, I was reading of something called G Beauty, referring to German beauty. And I was just thinking, then you have French beauty, which, you know, they're huge with skincare. And when will we have something called A Beauty, which refers to African beauty, for example? We have amazing ingredients. I mean, we have shea butter that originates here. We have baobab oil. We have argan oil in the north, in the Moroccan region, Tunisian region. We have cocoa butter that is also parts of the cocoa plant are also used to make chocolate. So that's a huge ingredient. I mean, think of global companies like the Body Shop. One of the biggest parts of their supply chain is actually based in West Africa, for the ingredients. So if a Body Shop could come to Africa where, a huge, more than 40% of their ingredients originates from here, then why aren't we doing the same thing? Originating from here and, presenting our products for the world. So that's one of my biggest goals. And I think, again, collaboration is key as much as possible. As you want to take Caribbean, originated products to the world, it's the same thing here. My goal is Africa in a jar to the rest of the world, so I want every Black person of African diaspora across the world to hear about our brand and to be proud of it the way you see with other huge global brands. So I think we're definitely on the right path, and this new digital age to access, and within half a minute you can get to know a brand or see what they're about. I think the time is now.
Absolutely. The time is definitely now. This brings us now to the end of the first in our series of conversations. We'll be back. We have to be back because we feel, it's beauty. So 2 hours have just disappeared and we haven't even scratched the surface. But I charge you all to focus on what you're doing best, to get to know each other. And I personally look forward to walking into that one store where all the products are there in front of me and I can shop with pride and leave with my big bags as usual because there's no hope for me. But thank you very much, Marie Hall-Smith, the Faceplace Managing Director, Garth and Kamisha Walker, Adam and Eve Day Spa, Lisa Hutchinson, Lisa Salon Principal, Raquel Jenkins, Raquel J Beauty Lab CEO and Creative Director, Toyin Odilate, thank you, Laurie Beauty Enterprise Limited, Founder and CEO, Lagos, Nigeria, Laurie Robinson, Executive Financial Advisor, Sagicor Life Jamaica, and the Director of Unwind Distributors. Ivo Nassif, give our love to Nancy, please. DCP Successors Limited, Director. Kimberly Forbes, Ita Rejuve, Creative Director. Catherine Nurse, Immortel Beauty CEO from Trinidad and Tobago. And from Barbados, Kim Clark, Happy Feet Hands Barbados, Principal and Creative Director. Thank you to Sagicor. Our webinar is powered by Sagicor. We take a break next week, Tuesday, but we'll be back. Thank you to Flow, ARC, and Phase 3. So thank you again, Sagicor, Flow, ARC, and Phase 3. And thank you very much to every single one of you who've given up 3 hours of your morning to be part of this. Come back soon. And don't forget to get to know each other. And Ivo has the best soaps in the whole wide world, as Cecilia Levy would say. So luxury is a lifestyle, not a price tag. And luxury is now about sustainability. And who better to speak that language than us in the region? Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Nubia. Thank you.
Lots of love.
Thank you.
Don't forget my address, all the products to me.
Because our most vulnerable are also our most valuable. More distance doesn't mean less love. And even when we're apart, we can still be close. Let's never stop showing our seniors how much we care. By staying home, staying in touch, and staying safe today, so we can smile together tomorrow.